Everything in life. And when I say everything, I mean everything. From the top of Tricuti down. Now, there's a lot of things in these three realms. And I'm not excluding one of them. I'm saying all things. Okay. Everything in life is a state of consciousness. Everything is a state of consciousness because consciousness is the primal cause substance. All things are only an extension of consciousness into innumerable states of consciousness. The broken mirror. All the broken pieces in the mirror are states of consciousness. Consciousness is the primal cause substance, meaning the mirror was consciousness. There's only consciousnness. That's it. That's the primal cause substance. When you break the mirror, all you've got the same thing, but little bits and pieces, little states and bits and pieces of consciousness. See? So everything becomes a state of consciousness, but that state of consciousness is only an extension of the mirror. The little broken piece of mirror glass is a part of the mirror. It's got to be a part of consciousness. And that's why it's called a state. A state of consciousness is any event, thought, or feeling that is separated from consciousness itself. So when I say consciousness is the primal cause substance, that means all states of consciousness are consciousness too, but just broken down into states. You can't have anything different than consciousness in all of the lower worlds because everything has been broken off of this mirror, consciousness itself. So everything is tied in with consciousness. That's why there's no real variety in life. There's just various arrangements of the primal cause substance. See? Very simple. Now, that's what I was going to say. If you don't understand this, that states of consciousness are a part of consciousness, and there can be nothing different than an extension of consciousness into all these states, it'd be the same thing as saying, let me use a man. Let's say a man had 1 billion children. Can you see where one would say, well, all the kids are the same? See, they got the same chromosomes and genes as the man that fathered them. They're all the same. They come from the same individual. In the same way, all states of consciousness have come from consciousness. It seems like an elementary point to be making, but once you realize this point, you see that everything is consciousness in and of itself, and you can move into these states of consciousness at your chosen will. You can be anything or do anything that you want because everything is consciousness. If you want to be mad, you can be mad right now. You don't have to go study about anger and practice being PO'd. You can enter it immediately. If you want to get past that anger and come in with some forgiveness and tolerance and patience, you can do so immediately. You don't have to go to anger management. You don't have to pay a fine. You have the right to instantly move into that state of consciousness because everything is consciousness, you see. And this is what soul transport is based upon now. Movement from one state of consciousness to another state. And once you realize what's being talked about here, you'll realize that you're not restricted at all. You can manifest any state of consciousness. You can be anything you want right now by simply moving from whatever state of consciousness you're in to another state of consciousness. Okay. We only have to live in our own state of consciousness. That's all we have to do. Every one of you in this room is living in your own state of consciousness. Some of you are mad, some of you are happy, some of you are alcoholics, some of you are hungover, some of you are blissed out, some of you are in love with the master. Every one of you in this room is in your own state of consciousness. And here's the thing with life. You only have to live in your own state of consciousness. That is reward and punishment enough. Okay, you see a drunk on the street. That lowlife, look at him. He's a drunk. Look at his beer belly. Look how he looks, unkempt, unshaved, messed up hair. Man, what a total loser. Okay. You don't have to do that. You don't have to shoot bullets, psychic bullets at this drunk that's just despicable on the street and condemn him with all of your power. Why? We only have to live in our own state of consciousness. Do you think that alcoholic is happy with his state? He has to live in his own state of consciousness. That is punishment enough. You do not have to curse him out because he's going through living hell, just living in his own state. Have you ever been a drug or in jail or an alcoholic or in some deep problem? And what that does to your consciousness, it is miserable. Miserable. We've all gone through it. You lost your first lover. Your heart is crushed. Do you need anyone to tell you what a loser you are? No, because you are in the loser state so strongly, you're feeling everything about a broken heart, emotional distress, the whole deal. Do you get the point I'm trying to make? You only have to live in your own state of consciousness. You don't have to worry about anyone else. This right here is the issue. You're going to suffer or be in bliss. You're going to be sad or happy, miserable or in joy, simply based on this principle. And whatever you are, whatever your state of consciousness is, the curse and blessing of life is that you have to live in it. Now, the question becomes, do you enjoy the state of consciousness you've been living in most of your life? Isn't this the very reason why one searches out a master in the path and wants God in the heavenly state? Because the state of consciousnesses they've had to live in through their years on this planet has just been grotesque. It's been a disgrace. We've suffered. We've lived through pain. We're heartbroken. We're lonely. We're bored. We don't know what to do with ourselves. We're just living in our state of consciousness and everything is a total bust. And that's punishment enough. And those that have spiritualized their states of consciousness and are operating on a higher plane of consciousness, then there starts coming some rewards. If you can induce a blissful state of consciousness, you only have to live in your own state of consciousness. That means you get to live in bliss or love or peace or tranquility or equilibrium. You get to feel you only have to live in your own state of consciousness. Nothing else is going to be laid on you. Nothing. You just have to live in what you've created, your state of consciousness. Well, okay, fair enough, Gary, but you can see what this does. Who is going to jump up and say, my state of consciousness is just wonderful? No one is, if they got their head screwed on straight. The whole system of the lower worlds is to put you through duress. It's to put you through such a punitive experience with the law of karma and the wheel of 84 that in time, over thousands of yugas, the soul starts to get tired of all the baloney and pain and heartache it's been going through, and it starts searching for a way out. See? and trying to get rid of the states of consciousness you've been forced to live in, and trying to start to rise up and get to the soul, which is consciousness itself. That is what the spiritual journey is, to transcend all states of consciousness in your own noggin and rise up here to consciousness in itself, which is above all states of consciousness. To put your mirror back together again where it can reflect the true image of your divine self. That's the objective.